Do you feel like a corporate slave? Are you a new entry into the organization and feel disempowered? Has your side gig as a millennial become your primary vehicle for growth and meaning in life rather than your main job in the work from home era? Have you worked for long years in the corporate organization and feel completely cynical uh, about the system? Do you feel like it's the corporate organization is merely a vehicle for productivity and profit rather than self-actualization at work? Have you worked for long years in the organization and still worked very hard and still feel that you are still where you are? Are you in search of meaning during your midlife in the organization? Are you that tyrannical, insecure, typical controlling boss who does not empathize with the rest of his employees? Are you the people pleasing uh, employee who refuses to say no, refuses to set boundaries for himself and be assertive? Are you the HR director who finds talent retention a real challenge in this competitive world? Who has to sell visceral experiences to their employees to keep them in the organization? Well, so these are clear indicators of a need for transformation at an individual and collective level in the organization, right? And organizations are not, amorphous abstractions of humanity. They are actually made of people, human beings, me and you. And by transforming those human beings and the groups of human beings, we can actually transform the organization and create a culture which can be owned by each of the stakeholders in the organization, right? So what is transformation? So not only do we live in our physical worlds, but we also live in the psychological spaces that we have created for ourselves, which either propel us forwards towards achieving our goals or hold us back from success. So transformation is a deep, dramatic, irreversible positive change in our psychological space, which brings to light certain hidden parts of our psyche, integrates them, and results in creating a paradigm shift in our perspective. So when there is that paradigm shift in our perspective, we not only think differently, we work differently, we act differently, and therefore the results obtained are different. And when a collective set of human beings who are living to their largest or highest potential in an enabling environment work towards a particular goal, magic happens, synergy happens in an organization. So, hello, I'm Ritu Verma, and I am the founder of BZen, and I am the conductor and the creator of these transformational workshops for you and your organization. So, who would not like to achieve transformation and self-actualization by gaining a different perspective rather than by working 70 hours a week as somebody recently suggested, right? So let's understand transformation more. So I think the most famous story of individual transformation in our history is that of King Ashok, who after Kaling War became a harbinger of peace and somebody who spread Buddhism all around the world from a warmongering and conquest hungry emperor, right? Then there is of course the story of Valmiki, who became a sage from a dacoit in our mythology. There are various stories of transformation in our corporate world also, right? So in recent times, we have, we have Cafe Coffee Day, which has changed the story after its founder's suicide or death. And now it has streamlined the organization, is achieving great results. Similar stories of cultural change in an organization can be seen in the FMCG sector, in Marico Industries. Then there was Lee Iacocca during his time in 1980s when he transformed Daimler Chrysler, to a profiting organization, to profit-making organization. and it was a complete turnaround story, right? Then we have stories of Royal Enfield, and even in the public sector units like HAL, NTPC, and who can forget the transformation story of the government of India itself, right? So transformation is actually possible, right? And I myself have undergone a transformation in a transformation journey in the last 14 years dramatically. So uh, for your information, I am an architect, I'm an urbanist, I wear many hats, I'm an entrepreneur, artist, healer, mentor. I've also worked as a professor earlier. And so I wear many hats. But this is the journey which started with the question of who am I? So when I left Libya, where we were doing master planning in 2009, I left with the question of who am I? And over the years, uh, I have transformed completely from being highly analytical and left-brained to now be to now being whole-brained, I would say, and holistic. And and my primary strength now is my right brain, creativity, empathy, and it has been a journey of turmoil, but also great growth and great rewards. So I would like to bring the benefits of that personal journey of transformation to you so that you can transform and create change yourselves, be catalysts of positive change in your organization, in your lives, in society, yourselves, without having to go through much of a roller coaster, right? So, who does not want a drama free office environment? You know, that is the space where we spend at least 40 hours of our life in a week, right? So I don't think it's a good idea to wait till 60 and then say, oh, now we will attend to our purpose in life and now we will self-actualize when you're actually quite old and you don't have the energy. So finding meaning at work, right? Finding empathy at work and being empowered at your workplace is a great tool for self-realization, right? So that is why we have created workshops where we can hold a mirror to you and you can realize who you are. So, our first workshop, which is live now, is Who Am I? The second workshop is The Art of Listening, the Gateway to Empathy. So, even in the Future of Work manifesto created in 2013, which people are now interpreting as tilting towards technology, AI, VR, chat GPT, actually the focus has always been on human centered design, on humanity itself, right? So, human can be a resource, but first of all, we are human beings, right? So, we would like to shift the focus back to humans through our workshops. So, democratic communication and uh, honest sharing of your thoughts and ideas and feelings at your workplace should be encouraged. The space should be provided for it. We have designed physical spaces as BZen, and that can only change the culture and the psyche to a certain extent, right? But the human wear, the mindset, has to change, and that is why we have created these workshops. So we also have workshops about leading from the center, leadership, then alignment. So basically, if your life purpose is aligned with your organizational purpose, then you can be in it for the long term and it can be a very fulfilling experience. It's not just about emotional wellness, I would say it's about emotional fulfillment, meeting of your aspirational needs, right? And these are all possible. These are all possible, and this is by personal experience, I can say that these are possible. Then, uh, we would also like to conduct these workshops where it's a physical, at the most, a digital experience, you know, and it essentially combines the top-down thinking with bottom-up thinking. So not only is the leader's vision important, right? Many of the workshops in the world are centered about training leaders because they are the people who propel the organizations forward in a certain direction, give the vision, give the mission of an organization. But our contention is that unless community aspirations, the ethos of the community and their aspirations are also taken into consideration, we cannot really have a healthy, democratic, equity oriented work culture and an organization which can create magic where innovation can happen, right? And no matter where you are in the pyramid structure, in the power pyramid of your organization, you can still be a leader if you give up the victim mindset, right? Everybody does not have to be a leader in the organization, but if you give up the victim mindset, you can shift to a more creative and a solution oriented and a positive mindset, right? So all this drama can be actually dealt with. They come from hidden places, which are unhealed. And then magic can happen. So even, for example, when I was at the intern level of an organization, I was still the project architect, and I still had to coordinate and get decisions from the boss, right? So that is also getting work done in a particular way. Then when I was in China, and you understand that China is like a copy paste culture, I was in the middle rung of the organization as the foreign expert, senior urban designer and planner. And that's also a place where I led with innovation and holistic thinking. And we developed a methodology whereby we could uh, create and deliver original projects, urban projects, in a month's time. So we won 15 projects and delivered 15 projects in 15 months, right? So that was a great synthesis of analytical and right-brained culture, work culture, of individualistic and group-oriented work culture, right? And of course, when you're at the top, it is your responsibility to be humble and to listen to the rest of the team members in your organization, right? Because I've seen many people who are unempathetic and then you're bitch about, behind the back. So these are the kind of transformations that we are looking at. It's not the number of zeros in your salary check which determine your evolution, but how compassionate and how contributing towards the society and the larger organization that you are, which will determine your evolution level, right? But alignment is the formula for success. So this is a series of 7 workshops, and like I said, we need you to be present in the workshops with all your 5, no, not 5, just in fact your 6 senses, right? And we also need periods of reflection between each workshop. So we would like to have a period of like 1 to 3 months of reflection, progress, and then move to the next workshop in the sequence. So I would like to welcome you to this experience. And if you're ready, then transformation can happen very quickly, even over a creative and empathetic dialogue, right? And if you're resistant to change, and you are afraid in times of uncertainty, then it takes longer. It is a more long and more what should I say? Difficult, not difficult, but a more not a very smooth and clear cut process, right? So I think it is time. We live in an era of uncertainty in the coming decade, and we need to equip ourselves with this tool and continuously transform ourselves to uh, being our higher selves and also contributing as an organization for the greater good of society. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you.